All right, guys, it's T, and I'm back with another video. It's on JasonBlaha, our favorite gym lifting recruiting gear slave, JasonBlaha, to do videos on, reaction videos on. We love JasonBlaha, man. He's just like a major fixture on YouTube, like Mr. Beast. All right, let's do a reaction video to JasonBlaha, the strength and fitness dude. Blaha says no one gets fat from eating chicken breast, brown rice, and potatoes. They don't get fat? You mean like bulk diet? All right, let's review this.
Nobody is getting fat on chicken breast, brown rice, and potatoes. Hey, everybody. I thought I would chat with you guys and gals a little bit about this today. This is one of these topics where when people are looking at all of these factors, they always look at, oh, this food or that food it's causing fat gain, and then others will point out, well, it's about calories in versus calories out. But the fact of the matter is, what people are not understanding is number one, the simplicity of.
Well, he's not getting fat because he's starving himself. How could you get fat if you're starving? Listen, if you're starving, how could you get fat? It makes no sense. You're in a catabolic state. You're not in a positive nitrogen balance, meaning anabolic. So you're catabolic. You're deteriorating. You're starving. Yes.
Calories in, calories out isn't that straightforward. It's not like, hey,
Will your body in a deteriorating starvation state increase hormones to preserve you as long as it can? How does it do that? By raising growth hormone and testosterone. That's why people say, look, I'm starving. Hey, my testosterone and growth hormone is through the roof. Yeah, but it's to preserve you. It's to keep you from dying. Yeah, because you're dying. You're dying, so your body. What does your body do? It rapidly adapts to do what? To protect from what? From dying. Yeah. And how does it do that? By raising hormones to recycle the proteins and whatever is there. It's going to keep recycling it as long as it can until it can no longer recycle anymore. Like a recycling compactor. You throw all your recycled garbage in the bin, and then they recycle it and send it back to you. Get it? Until it runs out of recycling. It can no longer be recycled anymore. It gets so downgraded.
burn X amount of calories irrespective of what I eat.
You're burning calories, or are you burning, I don't know what you're burning there, calories, okay. Respective of what he eats, he's burning calories. What is the point of going to a gym to burn so you're going to a gym to burn calories? I thought people were going to gyms to regenerate. That was the whole purpose. Let's go to a gym, let's regenerate, let's build some muscle, regenerate our body, and build some muscle and get better. Well, you know, being a lifting slave and constantly lifting isn't regenerative, dude. Get it? You know what I mean? I don't understand any of this. I don't understand any of this.
Okay, because what you eat absolutely impacts that, and calories that cannot be stored in any capacity, there's oftentimes mechanisms by which they are expelled.
Yeah, I mean, being an endurance athlete, lifting every day in the gym now, you're adapted. So what are you? An endurance athlete. You're lifting for endurance purposes. Okay, what's that associated with? What endurance athletes do? They eat carbohydrates. Why? To load glycogen in the muscle as an energy source. Now, if glycogen exceeds breakdown in glycogen, then the glycogen will load in the muscle. It'll start loading in there now, it'll just exponentially load incredible amounts. That's why you notice these people, their diets are 80% carbs, and they go like Blaha, and 20% protein. So what exactly are you doing there? You're an endurance athlete. You're loading glycogen in the muscle. You're getting puffy muscles. You're getting fat, basically. You're loading energy in the muscle in the form of what? Glycogen. Remember, for every gram of glycogen, and I don't know how many grams he's eating, 3 grams of water are drawn between the skin and muscle into the muscle. Get it? Now, people are gonna, when it comes to building real muscle with protein, It has nothing to do with grams at all. It has everything to do with being in a positive nitrogen balance and protein synthesis exceeding this breakdown so that you're in an anabolic state. What does that mean by anabolic? It means that you've converted the catabolic hormone to an androgen so it doesn't have to compete with the myocytic androgen receptor, dude. Get it?
From the body. Okay, so we need a context for that. Also, keeping in mind there's vast differences in thermic effect.
Look, man, concentric exercises are not associated with regeneration. Only eccentric exercises are associated with regeneration. Eccentric exercises, and they're only ever regenerative when they're associated with unaccustomed eccentric bouts. Yeah, they're no longer regenerative because of the repeated bout effect phenomenon. With a repeated bout, there's no more damage after it becomes adapted. Now, to get another regenerative bout, you need to do something that you're unaccustomed to in doing eccentric and eccentric exercise. Get it, man? But this guy, he's adapted. He's, how should I put it? He's accustomed to doing these exercises. So what do muscles get when they're accustomed? What do they get? They get what? Deteriorating. They get oxidative stress. That shortens your telomeres. That shortens your lifespan. So how can they be healthy? See what I mean? Unaccustomed exercises are what? Known to cause what? Widespread muscle damage. What are accustomed exercises known to do? Well, I can bring it up in here, but I'm not going to. I'm simply going to explain it to you. They're associated with oxidative stress. Okay, dude? And what is that? Aging, deteriorating. Get it? Yeah. Now, maybe if you were in positive nitrogen balance, anabolic, and you were, a lifting slave, like I just said, adapted, you're accustomed to doing these exercises, doing that. You're still getting oxidative stress, though. That's the problem. See what I mean? The whole point of really lifting weights, if you're actually a lifting person, look, going to a gym is really based on regeneration. But you ended up being a factory worker, lifting weights all day in the gym. You want to go there often to lift. I can't miss a workout day. No, you can't miss a slave day, bro, so you could deteriorate faster than the last time. You understand me, man? None of this makes sense. Look, the whole point, to regenerate muscle, means you want to build more type 2 muscle fibers. Why? To make you faster, better, stronger. So you go into a gym unaccustomed, you do some bouts, and there's no more muscle growth there. It happens really quickly. You know what I mean? You have to do some unaccustomed stuff to get more of it, and then you run out of these adaptations. They run out. There isn't any more anymore. They just simply run out at some point. That's why I learned that a long time ago. That's why I never work out. I don't go often to the gym, and anytime I ever go there, I'm looking for an unaccustomed eccentric bout. That's it. So I can regenerate my muscle, my body, and that's about it. I'm not going there because I want to degrade my proteins, get oxidative stress, and then rebuild these proteins up and down like a yo-yo. That defeats the purpose. You get it, man?
The digestion and everything involved in
I love my kids.
breaking foods down before we can even get to the calorie.
And I also don't go to the gym because I want to be the best at lifting a heavy weight. That's based on chemical strength. You understand me? That has to be maintained with lifting. So now here's the problem. So these people, they want to be lifting slaves. They want to lift heavy weight. So they go in the gym, they have to maintain it with chemical strength, okay? You have to keep raising your hormones and lifting heavy weight and accumulating these androgen receptors so that the hormones can bind to them, giving you more force production, recruiting motor units and stuff like that. Okay, so you have to be a slave to that because you have to maintain it with a gym, but lifting weights, because it wasn't built naturally. You understand me? It's unnatural. And this is an unnatural process. So people will scream and rant all kinds of things online, like, this. The looks maxing guy is pretty smart. That guy is pretty smart. That Wayne guy, oh man, he's smart, bro. He's like 6'6", man. He's tall. He built himself. He looks built, and he says he's a natty, that for sure. Now, he doesn't take drugs. And he's good looking, and he's got the girls. He's a model. He's living the life. He's making $50K a month, and he's young, and he's making it, bro. Get it? And he's like, don't do any heavy deadlifts and don't do any heavy squats. There's no purpose to it because it's all based on looks. It is. It's all based on looks in society. The whole thing is to attract women. What is Blaha attracting? When it comes to looks maxing, they call it male gazing and female gazing. He's attracting males, male gazing. He's not attracting females. I'm trying to work on being more attractive to attract females. Get it? Female gazing, dude. That's why looks maxing became so popular about 8 months ago. It just popped out. He was the looks maxing guy, that guy, Wayne.
So there's a very dynamic area there when it comes to that. Then we also have to deal with the appetite, and both the appetite.
Remember, women don't see your body because you're wearing clothes. They see your face. But Blaha doesn't understand that. That's why he keeps walking around with his shirt off and these little mini pants, because he thinks that's attractive. He's attracting guys. He doesn't understand. Women don't care about that. They're looking at his face and they don't find his face attractive whatsoever.
And the energy level in.
If anything, they're repulsed from his face. It repulses them. Yeah. And very little viewership watches his channel, and it's usually guys that are just hot for Blaha. If you notice the numbers, they're just like a couple of hundred. Those couple of hundred people that are watching Blaha, they're hot for Blaha's face. That's why they're hot for him. Me, I just do reaction videos to it. I don't like Blaha. I don't like him. I don't hate him, but I don't like him, and he's unattractive. It's just I'm making videos because he gives out misinformation. I'm making reaction videos to the misinformation.
Okay, because that's a big deal. In other words, the hungrier you are, the easier it is to gain body fat. This is not a difficult concept to understand.
Oh, yeah.
Because the hungrier you are, the more food you're going to eat.
Oh, yeah.
And the more food that you eat, the more likely you are to get more calories. Again, very simple. The thermic effect, energy, all of that. Well, if you're talking calories in, calories out, the more energy that you use, the more energy you have. Also, the higher thermic effects and everything like that are from food, the more your calories out go up. Therefore, you can eat more without gaining fat. So that model is absolutely correct, but it is more nuanced than that. In other words, your calories out will not be the same if I give you 3,000 calories of 6 completely different meal plans. Completely.
You know that Blaha's on TRT, right? He takes testosterone. Yeah, injects testosterone.
Different foods. Your calories out will not be the same on those 6 things.
Calories in, calories out. High nutrients in, high nutrients out. Have you ever experienced eating your natural diet and see what happens? What's coming in and what's coming out? How is your body processing this? What happens when you eat cellulose? Why are you shitting so much and farting and bloated? What's really going on there?
Even if they're all 3,000 calories in, then you have to factor and look at those foods. And I think people forget this, that
I don't know why Blaha thinks he's a cow and that he can process cellulose like a cow does. He doesn't look anything like a cow. Well, then again, maybe he is transforming into a cow. He is a domesticated animal, though.
we don't store everything that we eat as fat. Not everything has the real potential to store as body fat, particularly subcutaneous body fat. We need to be clear on that. We do not store protein ever as body fat. That has never occurred.
No, really? You don't store protein as body fat? Why would you store protein as body fat? Protein is highly nutritious, is high in nutrients. Yeah, you don't store. How can nutrients be stored as body fat? Well, this guy makes no sense, man.
Even once in the lab, that's a hypothetical pathway. We haven't been able to actually get humans to do it. Experts have tried.
No, really? Man, the more meat or protein, if you want to call it that, the more animal protein I eat, which there is only, animals are only protein. They are protein. There's nothing else that's protein out there but animals. Man, I start losing body fat quickly. It starts going away by itself. I don't even have to lift weights, bro. I don't have to go to a gym. I don't have to do anything. My body changes drastically. And I have muscle because I built real muscle. I did unaccustomed repeated bouts of exercises so I could regenerate muscles. I didn't go to the gym because I wanted to be good at lifting weights or a lifting slave. Get it? Yeah, man. I'm not an endurance athlete, bro. I don't like anything endurance. I like sprinting. That's associated with regeneration. And I like unaccustomed exercises in the gym. That's it. That's it, bro.
They can't actually activate it, but it is hypothetically possible. It is hypothetically possible.
It's hypothetically possible that, guess what? mTOR can't be activated all the time. Here's the thing. Somebody's going to tell me, hey, man, mTOR is activated, man, all the time. It's no good for you. What are you talking about? How do you know? Just because they told you that, they don't know what they're talking about. If positive nitrogen balance is what makes you anabolic, right? They're going to say, well, your mTOR is now on all the time. Yeah, okay, whatever. Here's the thing, man. It can't be. It's impossible, because at some point you're not going to be eating all the time throughout the day. I don't know what you're doing, but I'm not eating throughout the day all the time. I eat one meal a day, and I'm in positive nitrogen balance because of that one meal. I just sit down and eat for a couple of hours. Like a fat model, she usually eats for 6 hours a day. Okay, so I eat for 4 hours, but it's all protein stuff. Okay, animal protein. And then guess I don't eat the rest of the night, and I don't eat in the morning. And here's the thing. You can't, mTOR is not going to be on all the time because you got to go to sleep at night. And autophagy starts working at night. When you go to sleep, it's called autophagy. That's what it does. It does its job. It removes toxins from your body. So you're a normal person. You don't need to be, I need to induce autophagy. You don't need to induce it. It happens automatically when you go to sleep, dude.
To gain a small amount of body fat from protein, but it's never been successfully done and observed. In spite of the...
You notice my last videos I popped up? If you go to my last videos a couple of months ago, I kind of looked a little bit puffy still, even though I've been eating meat the entire year. But I looked kind of puffy because I didn't really reduce much of the triglyceride. There was still triglyceride. There was I was holding some water and a bunch of stuff. And then I started eating 4 weeks straight at the Mandarin. Yeah, 4 weeks and a half or something straight. Every single day they're eating meat every single day, a lot of it, one meal a day. And then look, I went to the gym and I posed for you. I didn't even work out. And look what I look like. Leaner. I look leaner. Get it? Just, it beats doing this like crazy, lifting like a slave in the gym, deteriorating here, accelerated aging. You know what I mean? Forever to what? To burn triglyceride? I don't have to burn it. It's because I'm not in a famine. I'm eating protein. My body thinks, well, we're getting enough. We're in positive nitrogen balance. We're anabolic now. We're eating enough now. We're satiated. We get rid of we'll release the triglyceride. We don't need any fat because we're not going through a famine. You understand me? When you start going through a famine or something, or you're starving, eating these, freaking fake foods and everything, and you're starving, your body's going to accumulate fat. That's how you get fat, because it thinks you're starving. And there's weird stuff coming in that your body will just start storing fat because you're starving.
Best efforts. Like literally, let's just make people eat 500 grams.
That's why he's funny when he says, these people, they did these tests, so they'll never get fat eating protein. You get fat when you're starving. Your body's going to start allocating stuff on the side, accumulating triglyceride, because it says, hey, we're going through a famine. I think we need to preserve something here. Get it, dude?
A protein and see if we can get some of it to store. No, doesn't happen. So...
And these fake foods you're eating will make you fat as well, too. They're to the driver. They spike insulin. They're spiking insulin, bro. The fat's going to turn to fat because the sugar is going to spike that insulin.
There's all of that to consider, but then carbohydrates can only be stored in small quantities as visceral fat. They're never stored on...
Listen to what he said. Carbohydrates will be stored as visceral fat. Visceral, internal, visceral, external. Oh, man. Yeah, you can carry a lot of internal fat. You won't see it, and then when you start reducing weight, you go, where did it all go? Because you're holding internal fat, external fat. Yeah, goes both ways. I don't know.
Under the skin. So in other words, all of the fat under your skin, between your muscles and your skin, right? All of it comes from fat that you eat. Every last single drop of it. That is what we have found in the lab. And we, I mean the human race, not
So Blaha's now a bodybuilder or what?
we as in me personally. People bring that up. So let's look at why I mentioned those sort of foods. And I'm not saying you have to eat just those things, but you guys get the idea. No one's getting fat from that. Why? Chicken breast, extremely.
Well, because they're complex carbohydrates, dude. Man, rice and potatoes are complex carbohydrates. Doesn't even mention that. So yeah, they're mostly, if you're lifting, they load in your muscle, giving you these phony muscles called sarcoplasmic hypertrophy muscles. Yeah, we know that already.
Low fat, almost entirely protein. It's
Hey,
a
there's a
food
guy,
that is
Wayne.
95.
That was the guy that pop down just came down. That was the guy from Looks Maxing, Wayne. It's a cool dude, man. I don't know. I don't know if I can bring down that window. Let me see if I can. There he is. His name is Austin Wayne. Light triad or dark triad. That's gonna be a good one. I'm gonna have to watch that video.
Percent protein.
LinkedIn Sales Navigator is
95% protein. Protein has an extremely high thermic effect. We know that protein overfeeding actually causes.
Doesn't have a thermic effect. It means it puts you in positive nitrogen balance, making you anabolic. You understand me? It's the opposite of catabolic.
Fat loss in the lab. Okay, protein overfeeding causes fat loss. You cannot force feed.
No, you being in a positive nitrogen balance, anabolic, will help you lose body fat without losing any muscle whatsoever. Whatsoever. That's why if you notice when I pose, I look different now, right? See me, I don't do any of that. Like I gotta starve myself to lose body fat or all these weird things or whatever, reduce calories or anything like that. I don't do anything like that. I start ramping up the protein and the seafood. I ramp it up to the point where it's sky high. And then I start losing body fat easily. I don't have to do any of that. And I never lose muscle. Why would I? I have real muscle. I don't want to lose my real muscle. Screw that.
Need enough protein to gain body fat. You can't even force feed enough protein to create a calorie surplus. It's been tried. Researchers have tried this in the lab. I personally know someone, I'm friends with someone who was one of the researchers who tried to do this. Okay? In other words, if you take people to maintenance calories and then try to get them to eat those same macros and then add hundreds of grams of protein, they don't gain fat. In fact, they struggle to even sometimes hit their food intake unless you're giving them junk food at that point. If it's food they're comfortable eating already that has good satiety.
Junk food doesn't exist. It's man-made. I don't know what he's talking about. He's confusing the natural world with the fake world, real with fake. You know, that's the problem with bodybuilding. These bodybuilders, whatever, these people like him, lifters or whatever, these slaves, they're always confusing the real world with the fake world.
They will start losing weight when you try to force that protein down. So again, it's not happening from chicken. Absolutely not. Ridiculous. There's trace amounts of fat in chicken breast. Now, fattier chicken, sure.
Okay.
So when I make these statements, people say, what about these higher fat, low carb diets? People lose weight on those. Of course they do. But you can also gain fat on those. And that's the point. In other words, I'm talking about how people are getting fat. I'm not even talking about weight loss. So understand that difference. Okay, just because you're like, well, I eat so much rice, I can't lose weight. Okay, but the rice is not storing as body fat. You're not getting fat from the rice. You're getting fat from the other stuff you're eating with it. But yes, in theory, if you eat enough rice, it could absolutely stop your weight loss. Of course it can. Still do a
Not necessarily. If not enough nutrients are coming in and you're starving, then it can your body will store it as triglyceride, as fat. Yeah, because things are going through a famine.
Calories in, calories out.
But here's the thing, starvation and all this kind of stuff. Let's say you're starving yourself now, right? You know, going on these diets where you're completely starving yourself. Well, you know, reducing the calorie to the point where you're starving. Well, you can't allocate much there, right? You're starving yourself. It's really your body's trying to keep you alive, but you're deteriorating. No, these guys can't even figure out, these natural guys, why they're like, I'm so skinny now. Look at me with low body fat, and I got so skinny because they started going low calorie diet, which makes absolutely no sense. You need to go high nutrient diet to burn body fat without losing muscle. That's how it's intelligently done. But I guess there's no intelligent people out there anymore.
But let's talk about, mention brown rice. I'm going to mention potatoes. Look at the satiety index on potatoes. They're extremely hard to overeat. Try to eat 2,000 calories of boiled potatoes. Not talking about butter. Keep in mind, people say, I can overeat potatoes. Well, when you're dumping 1,000 calories of butter on it and bacon bits and sour cream. But potatoes? Tell me you're going to eat 3,000 calories of potatoes? I don't think so. You would be vomiting. Most of you out there would be vomiting it up.
Oh, brother.
Assuming you could even force it down, you'd be puking your guts up.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'd be puking right away.
So don't pretend that you can do it. We get someone who's going to challenge it. They're going to try to do it on camera now. Okay? Same thing, brown rice. We deal with how much of it we excrete. Then we deal with the thermic effect from too many carbohydrates. Keep in mind, if we carb overfeed and there's not enough fat present in your diet to gain.
So he wants to keep lifting he's looking for thermo effects. Okay, thermo effects, yes. So this is not regenerative, okay.
Any significant body fat?
So nothing in his regimes and any of his videos is regenerative. He's not regenerating muscles. Okay, I understand now.
Okay, in other words, it's really low. You gain fat so slow that you will never actually get fat. You'll gain trace amounts of fat. We're not storing the carbs. We tend to just burn it off as heat. This is what happens.
It depends on what you're doing and how much you're eating, what you're eating, what you're doing to your body. Your body is only there to keep you alive, so it's going to do specific things.
Carbohydrate overfeeding studies where 1,000 extra calories of carbs are thrown in. What happens? Thermic effect goes way up. Energy turnover goes way up. They don't store anything in the first day. They sweat their butt off. They gain some water.
Yeah, I don't see too many people in Siberia and these countries, cold climates, fat. They eat a lot of animal fat and animals. I guess vegan diet up there doesn't work because they don't grow any plants up there. Vegan diet ain't going to work up there. You're not going to survive on a vegan diet in a cold climate.
Weight, but not fat. Okay? But then we're dealing with higher total energy turnover. When you eat very large amounts of carbs, particularly when you're physically active, your metabolism, you're not your base metabolism.
Eating carbs while you're physically active, yes, it's a drug. Carbohydrates are drugs because they're from plants. And all plants are drugs, and all drugs are made from plants, bro.
Metabolism, but your TDE tends to go up because your thyroid goes up, your thermic effect goes up, your NEAT goes up. Okay? People are not getting fat from this. They're getting fat from eating large amounts of fat. They're getting fat from eating large amounts of hyperpalatable sugars that are...
Not necessarily. You can still be holding fat. Let's say you went on a meat diet now. You went back on your sorry. Let's say you as a carnivore went back to eating what you're supposed to meat and stop eating these fake foods. Well, you accumulated fat, let's say over a period of time. There's some fat there, something, whatever, right? You're looking kind of smooth. Well, yeah, it's going to be there because you're not in positive nitrogen balance. You're not anabolic. In other words, you're not totally all there. You're like, I'm saying, you're positive. You could say you're positive, but you're not anabolic. You gotta be anabolic, bro. In other words, protein synthesis needs to exceed that breakdown in your body, the breakdown in proteins, and that's gonna make you super anabolic, and your body is gonna release the triglyceride. It's gonna release it, okay? So, but you as a normal person. Yeah, you're gonna, if you're just eating meat and fish or whatever, just meat all day, you're not working out, so you're not expelling any energy. You're not working out, you're just walking around or doing your business or whatever it is you're doing. But now, if you are physically doing a physical job and working and you are eating, you as a natural carnivore, just eat meat. And not these fake energy diets, okay? These drug diets. Yeah, you're gonna notice you're gonna eat more meat because, you're using up the nutrients in your body. They're being eaten up. They're being used up. You gotta refill the stock of nutrients, so you're gonna eat more meat. That's about it, really. You'll know. Your body is made to keep you alive. Your instincts will tell you, your survival instincts will say, oh, it's time to eat again or whatever. Your body will tell you, and it'll keep you pretty much positive throughout the day. So there you go. Being catabolic is really bad.
Negatively affect insulin resistance, like all refined sugars. Okay, people are getting fat from eating fatty foods and too much sugar. That is why people are getting fat. They are not getting fat from rice.
Yeah, fatty foods, fake foods, and a lot of sugar. Yes, I would agree.
And potatoes or lean protein sources. It does
I would agree.
not happen. That is not driving the obesity epidemic. Not getting fat from eating fruit. All right, guys, with that.
You're not getting fat from eating fruit. Fruit has fructose in it. I don't know about getting fat from eating fruit, but it does have fructose. It'll destroy you.
That's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I'll.
Yes, it's been so informative, man. I'll see you in the next one. I don't know. See you in the next one, friends. Tell me what you think about that. Like, subscribe, support the channel, helps with the algorithm. I'll see you in the next one. Ciao.